Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
At African Diaspora News Channel, we cover stories that don't receive mainstream attention, and we serve as the voice to the global Black community. We are committed to informing and educating through the power of media, connecting the African diaspora one story at a time.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing it.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today.
All right, this is African Diaspora News Channel. Victor Izzo is right here reporting from Nigeria. Now let's go right into it. Now there's a major political drama that is unfolding between the U.S. and South Africa. Some days ago, the United States of America just expelled South Africa's ambassador. An ambassador, a whole ambassador, and is making headlines worldwide. But what's really going on? What's happening for real? What does this mean for South Africans and Black people around the world? The U.S. has kicked out South Africa's ambassador, Ebrahim Rasool, calling him a race-baiting politician. This means that the U.S. government is believing that he's stirring up racial division, especially against Donald Trump. And I need you to look at this video. When we come back, we'll talk about it. Let's really understand why the United States is expelling the ambassador. First, remember that the US and South Africa were already in bad terms. The relationship between US and South Africa has been getting worse over the past few months. And the tension started when South Africa accused Israel of genocide, right? And they took Israel to the International Court of Justice, saying that Israel was committing genocide against Palestinians. Now, the United States, of course, is the strong ally of Israel. So this move angered Washington. Could it also be that South Africa drew closer to Russia and Iran, which the US considers as their enemies, but South Africa has been, somehow conducting military drills with Russia and China. Don't forget that South Africa is a member of the BRICS nation, which includes Russia and some other Western countries. All right. Now, Trump cut U.S. aid to South Africa. He cut the aid, actually, of recent. So he stopped giving aids, saying that the country's policies were unfair to certain people. Now, I don't know who these certain people are, but we'll get to talk about them most likely as we proceed. Now, one of the biggest issues in South Africa right now is a particular land reform policy. In January 2025, South Africa President Cyril Ramaphosa signed a law making it easier for the government to take lands from private owners without compensation, especially land that was originally taken from Black South Africans during apartheid. All right. Now, the US is not happy with this. They're not happy about this. And the reason is because many of the landowners affected by this policy are white farmers and conservative politicians in the US, right? They see it as anti-white discrimination. In fact, Elon Musk, a South African-born billionaire, spoke against it, calling it racist. He says it is racist. Also, Trump claims, without providing evidence though, that white farmers in South Africa are being persecuted and having their land confiscated unfairly because of all of this whole brouhaha. So the government of South Africa is still insisting that the policy is about correcting the historical injustice and not targeting any white farmers. But why was the ambassador expelled? We have not really talked about that, right? What's the business of the ambassador in this issue? Now, Ebrahim Rasool, South Africa's ambassador to the US, condemned Trump publicly. This did not sit well with the US government, especially when Trump came back to power in 2025, right? He called Trump a supremacist. Now, Marco Rubio, who is the US Secretary of State, took the action and called the ambassador, a hating person. And so later on, the US expelled him and announced that he must leave the country by the 21st of March 2025, right? South Africa also called it regrettable, but they said they will try to resolve the issue through diplomatic channels. Now, this is not just about one ambassador, right? South Africa is standing up for itself, for the US, from the look of things, does not like losing influence over African nations, which is typical of Western countries. Now, the question is South Africa making the right move by challenging the US? Or is this not going to have any ripple effect on the economy and, the global standing? What's your take? Let's talk about this. You know better what is in South Africa. My South African brothers, what's going on in South Africa right now? Just leave your comments. I'm Victor Odion reporting for the African Diaspora.